Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and in just a moment, we're going to be doing some practice hands on the GTO Wizard Light practice tool. I think I've set it up, I hope I set it up correctly too. It's just like I was playing a normal poker session. Hopefully, we're going to be dealt into hands from more positions. We're going to be facing lots of different scenarios, and hopefully, it just plays just like imagine we were playing a speed poker session. Only we're not. We're not playing for real money here. We're just playing in theory against somebody who plays GTO perfect. And I'm going to play this like I would play. We're going to ignore the RNG. We're just going to do what would Reggie do, basically. What would Reggie do versus a GTO opponent in this spot? Um, it's not what would Reggie do in his games. It's what would Reggie do against someone who he thinks is playing GTO. So this is like my way of practicing for when cause I play in very soft games, but there are some regs at my tables. So this is like my practice for when I'm in pots against regs, not for when I'm in pots against recreational players. So I would definitely open the Jack 10 suited here in middle position. I would have opened a little bit bigger, sorry, under the gun, but it's only given us the 2x. So that's what we've done. With a flush draw and a gut shot versus big blinds here. I would check back sometimes. I would bet sometimes. I guess we should use the RNG for spots like this. So on like a, I don't know what this low roll means here, but for me, like when I'm using an RNG, I do it the other way around to other people. Like if I say I want to do something at a 50% frequency, if I roll not to 50, I will do it. If I want to do something at 75% frequency, if I roll not to 75, I'll do it. If I want to do something at a 30% frequency and I roll a 40, then I don't do it. So this to me would be classed as like a low roll where I'd be a bit more passive. Um, so I would definitely be mixing here between like betting and checking. And I think on this low number, I would either bet small or check. And I want to bet, so we're going to bet small. He calls. Turn is like a total brick. Um, and I would either go with like checks here to realise or just big over bets, depending on how I thought like the turn card interacting with opponent's range. Some stuff gets there on the like 6-5 gets there, 8-7 gets there. Does this change enough of the nuts for me to not want to bet here? Would I overbet here? So I think if I'm not going to overbet, I don't think I'm going to bet. I wouldn't just bet like 2/3 pot here or 75% pot. I'd either go with an overbet or a check most of the time. Um, I think on this, it's just enough of a break where I think I would just go with overbet. And then we've got two overbet. Well, we've got three overbet options here. I'd probably want to go something like 150% to 2x pot. So I'm going to choose this one. And we get the fold. And GTO Wizard did not. It liked our pre-flop. It didn't love our flop. I mean, the EV between all of them is exactly the same. So why I'm getting told off for betting 1.5. Yeah. Guess it just never does it. It's just using other sides. This is the sides it's just never going to use on this board. Yeah, so that's why I'm getting told off. Wonder why he doesn't want to just use that size on that board. Who knows? And what's more, I don't fucking care. Ace 4 suited. Trivial call. Pretty good flop for us. I think I'm definitely going to have some donks on this board. And with this hand, I'm just going to donk at like 100% frequency. I think this is going to be a pure donk for me. I would use a bigger size than available to me here. I would want a donk here for like 3.5 blinds. But we're not allowed to. We've got this size and this size only. And yeah, that one was fine. On this board versus big blind, King 7-6. Prefer to have the Ace of Hearts, but I would definitely still bet this flop. I think. Would I? Maybe. What do I do against a reg? Because I'm not used to playing against fish. What do I do against a reg here? I think I'd probably use bet and probably use a slightly bigger sizing. Would I? Let's see. No, I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you. I would just check. Probably a mistake, but I would probably just check. Just think we have enough showdown value with our ace and our jack. Don't need to start bluffing with it. We're certainly not value betting. On the repeat 7, we're just checking again. Deuce river. I expect to see quite a lot of leads here. Yep. Honestly, I think I would probably just fold. They are going to have quite a lot of bluffs here. That's the only problem. They're going to have quite a lot of... Yeah. Maybe there just needs to be a call because they've just got so many, like, queen highs and worse. Yeah, I think I just call, actually. Queen high. He's going to... All these, like... A lot of his no showdown values is going to bet at this point. I think I would just call. Not love it. And he had the king 4, but... We got good marks from GTO, so I'm happy with that. 2 kings. I wouldn't choose this size, but I wouldn't use that one, so we have to use this one. Jack 8-3. See, in the games I play now, I would be using big bets here against recreational players and just shit regs. Against a GTO opponent, against someone who I thought was like theoretically pretty well drilled. I still think I go quite big. Like this would be against a fish, I'd be using this size. Against someone who I thought was a shit reg, probably this size. Against someone who I think is playing GTO approved stamps poker, probably this size. So I'd like between these two sizes mostly. And I'm just going to go with the one that I feel most comfortable with. Yeah, and it likes it. Ace king, we're going to open. 8-7 deuce. We're just not going to see bet here. Not going to be a thing with our ace king of clubs. We have too much showdown value. Not the worst flop for big blind defending ranges, etc., etc. Jack on the turn. Just don't think we need to start bluffing, so we're not going to. 7 river. He's going to see a lot of leads, and we're just going to call again, I guess. Yeah, we got double ticks everywhere. We lost the pot, but we got double ticks everywhere. It's time to get the hang of this GTO shit. Don't love it, don't get me wrong. I think if we start like applying a lot of the GTO concepts to games against like pretty bad players, like weak regs and things, I think it's bad. But it's nice to feel that I'm like seeing what I'm like preempting what GTO Wizard's going to do, and I'm getting better at like doing things it doesn't fucking hate, which is good because it means I'm making progress in my game. As like this is how I'm going to approach against unknowns or good players, while still hopefully having the poker sense and the experience to know when to deviate. I think it's definitely improving me as a player. So we have the ace king here. We do the standard 3-bet. 10-9-5. I think we probably want to do some betting here just to like clear out some equity that they're going to have that just probably can't call. But again, we just have like, I think we have too much showdown value. We have just better hands to bluff with. So I wouldn't be surprised if this does some betting, but I'm not bothered about like, I think it's going to have a lot of checking too. And then we get a big lead on the turn, and I'm probably just going to fold. Us having the ace of spades will block quite a lot of their like bluffs, I would imagine. So I'm just going to fold and hope not to get too much of a bollocking. All double ticks. Reggie, you are improving at poker. You are getting better at poker, sir. King 10 suited. It's going to be a raise under the gun. We flop second pair and a good shot. Against big blinds here, we maybe have like a thin value bet. But again, we don't need to be bloating this part at this point, so I think we can just check. If I was going to bet, I'd probably use a slightly like maybe a half pot type sizing, but I'm just going to check. Probably just going to continue checking. And then now I think we have to check river. Don't think I'm going to get a big telling off for this either. No, he loves it. All the double ticks. Reggie, you are a fucking wizard, sir. Jack 10 suited. Against someone who I think's playing good GTO, I wouldn't go with the 5x here. Against a recreational player, I would go with 5x. I'd go 3x because there's going to be some limp raises in this, and I'm not going to want to fold. We do just get the call this time. Then we get the lead on this flop. We have an absolute ton of equity here. I think we can go either way between raising or calling. When we've isolated pre, this isn't the best of boards for us. So I think because it's not the best of boards for us, and I'm just going to go with call this time. We turn what, in my opinion, is the fucking nuts. And we've been bet into again. I think I have some raises here. Now, GTO Wizard might not like this, but I don't want to see another spade come off. Don't particularly want to see the board pair. I think I'm going to have some raises here. And it's going to be around 3x. He does this. At this point, I'm just all in. I mean, what of spades can this guy have? Limp called, king, queen of spades. We've got the jack and the 10. The 9's dead, king, 8 of spades. Now, I'm just all in. It doesn't like the turn. It didn't like the turn jam, I guess. I just wanted us to call the turn. Didn't want us to raise. Although, like, the EV is pretty similar. It just wants pure call. I don't like pure call. I don't like it. But, you know, we did it anyway. And then, versus this, it prefers just calling than... Yeah, I don't like too much slow playing. King, queen, offsuit versus a hijack open. Probably just calling, I think. We have the nut flush draw. Trivial check. No raising on ace-7 deuce. For me, not for me anyway. So we're just going to call. Turn a flush. Now we've got the nuts. But like, who's this card better for? Probably this guy, I think, because like a lot of our flushes check raise the flop. A lot of our like made flushes, a lot of our like low suited connector types would just raise the flop. So probably wouldn't want to start leading now on the 4 flush card. So I'm going to check. Checks through. Board pairs a river. We're just going to make a chunky size value bet. And get forced. I didn't like river. Liked everything until the river. Guess it wanted me to just block river, did it? Yeah, block or bet block or some other bets. Didn't like my size. Again, there isn't a huge EV difference. It's just it would never use this size. It would have either had basically check, block, or big bet. Not gonna. I don't worry too much about stuff like that. You know, like yeah, I got a sizing thing wrong on the river. I'm not gonna beat myself up too much for that sort of thing. 10-9 suited, trivial open. We get 3 bet, sad face fold. Ace-7 suited, trivial open. Flop 2 pair on a very, very dry board. I would just bet small here with almost pure. Well, yeah, just pure. 6-5 gets there on the turn for the big blind. And we bet small on the flop. We typically want to either check or use bigger sizes on the turn. Not sure I want to use a big size on this card exactly. I think it's like a pretty good flop for big blind's range. So do we have a big enough range advantage here to want to use a big bet? Even though we have an ace-7 suited, do we have a big enough range advantage to want a big bet? I don't think so. So I'm probably going to check. And now I just think we get to bet when he checks again. What size? I think I'd probably go with the over bet. Just try and capture his like ace X that isn't like ace 9 basically. Yeah, and I got all ticks for that. Pretty happy with that. Queen 9 suited is going to be a very natural and comfortable defend. Flop a gut shot. Checking. Not folding. Are we ever raising? Everyone will raise our like gut shots here. Let me have a little drink and think about it. I mean, you have Queen 9 of spades here that would probably benefit more from check raising. I think I would. I wouldn't be surprised if it likes raises here sometimes, but I'm just going to go with the. I mean, I almost want to fold, to be honest with you. I almost want to fold. Like, we have 3 clean outs. We're out of position. I'm torn now between call or fold. And I think I'm going to fold. Might get told off. Yeah, it doesn't like it. Doesn't hate it, but it doesn't like it. Super trivial check back here with ace queen on a board that's remarkably good for the big blind range. Still checking. We have showdown value, and again, it's just a bad board for us. Good board for our opponent. Guess it wanted some calls on river there with it giving us the. Yeah, it wanted some calls. We haven't faced a 3-bet yet, have we? We have got. I guess we've got it where we just never face 3 bets, which is whatever. Oh, that was a big one. Excuse me. We're just going to continue with the session now. I guess I've somehow got the settings wrong. We haven't faced a single 3-bet yet. Good flop for our range. I think I'm just going to range bet this, usually. So I'll go with that. If I bet small on the flop, we're not really allowed to like do anything but bet big on the turn. A lot of the time, it's what I'm thinking. And I don't want to bet big with this hand, so I'm just going to check. And now the question is, do we value bet the river? I think King X is going to lead quite a lot. Don't think we can bet too big because we just don't get enough calls. I'm torn between check back and bet 2. I'm going to go with check back. Oh, it loved it. It loved it. This is the bottom. I'm just going to range bet quite a lot. Big blind button flat in ranges. I don't know how much like King and Queen X have in them. I think there's going to be a lot of pocket pairs and like suited ace X in there. Maybe some suited connectors. I'm just going to probably have a bet small or no, not checking. I'm definitely not checking. I think I'm just going to bet small. And I would bet bigger than any card that improved our equity here. But this is not improving our equity. I think I would just give up at this point. I'm not loving it because this guy can just have that, probably lots of stuff that might fold. But I'm just going to check. I'm just going to fold. And we got all ticks, so I'll take it. It didn't mind checking the flop either. So we've flopped some good equity here, but it's a really good board for our opponent's range. So I think we're going to be doing a lot of checking. We turn a flush. And I would really want to raise here. But I think I'm going to raise. I think a villain can have a lot of this board too. So I do want to raise here. And I think we're going to overbet river. I'm just going to go all in, I think. Might be a bit of an overplay. I certainly want to overbet. Which overbet do I prefer? I think I'm all in. Don't think a 7's folding. I didn't like me play. Didn't like it. Turn. It just wanted me to call, but there's very little EV difference. He would never do this basically. It's just doing a lot of calling and a lot of small raising. Then what did he want on the river? It wanted a lot of betting, of course. It wanted a smaller overbet. Never mind. Never mind, Reggie. Pure checking this back. You're still checking here quite a lot. And now we're definitely betting, and we're going to bet pretty big. Right, liked everything until the river. What did it want on the river? Wanted me to check back again? You drunk GTO. Which way we to just check aces down? Okay, fine. Ace King's going to be a 3-bet. What a thoroughly miserable flop. I think I'm going to have some small bets here and checks for the most part. I think under the gun here is going to have quite a lot of like 10s, jacks, queens, that type of thing. Do we block or do we check? I think I'd block. I really want to check and then face a large bet. I think block isn't going to get raised very often. And on that turn card, we're just going to give up. Yeah, I'm just going to fold. I think it might have some calls now and again. But I'm just going to fold. It didn't like the flop. Probably wanted me to just check the flop. Check or bigger bets. Didn't like the small bet. Okay. Uh, 9-8 deuce. Don't think you're going to see bet this board. Turn 8. Just going to keep checking. do we bluff this river to try and fold out ace highs? Yeah, I think I'll probably bet. No, he didn't like river. Oh, it wanted overbet. Okay. So it wanted to bet. He just wanted to overbet. Pure. So I was on the right line with the bet. Just picked the wrong size. Not too worried about that. King 10 off versus hijack. It's an unhappy defend. And now we're just going to check fold. King 5 suited. Trivial defend. Flopping a flush draw on a board that I expect villain to just bet pretty close to pure. And they don't. Do we start bluffing now with our flush draw? I mean, I want to. Emotionally, I want to just bet here. I don't think it would want me to, would it? Don't really want to bet and get raised. And now I think we have a mandatory bluff on this board. And it didn't seem to like small bet when we were bluffing last time, so we're going to try this one. Oh, look at that. We're learning. We're learning this game. 5-4 suited. I guess we could 3-bet this sometimes. I almost never do. Flopping the nuts. I think probably supposed to have some raises on this board. Happy days. Yeah, pre-flop it probably wanted just a 3-bet sometimes, yeah. It's queen off versus under the gun. We're just going to 3-bet. Going to call. Absolutely miserable flop. Now, last time we were in a similar spot to this. But we were big blind, I think. You wanted big bets or checks. I'm going to check. We smashed the turn. Can we check the flop? I think we probably want to use bigger bets on the turn. So I'd use one of these two. So we'll just plump for this one. We get raised. What? This could be the first blunder incoming. I'm not going to raise. That would be a total punt, but I'm not going to fold either. So that leaves us just with call. Pretty miserable river card. I don't think I'm going to fold, but I think this could be the first blunder. Oh, no, it's not a blunder. I mean, we got smashed by the nuts, of course. But he likes it. So, yeah, maybe some of my shit call downs aren't as shit as I think they are. 775. I think I'm probably going to start with a block here with our backdoor. Turn doesn't improve our actual equity, but I think it's really good card for our range. So I would go with like overbet or check here most of the time. And I'm going to go with overbet. And we get called again. I mean, emotionally, I want to just give up here. But I think all in can't be terrible. My emotions when I click this button, but I don't think all in can be terrible here. So that's what we're going to press. Whoops. Whoops a daisy. That one didn't go well. So let's play it back from the flop. It wanted just to check. It disliked our bet size immensely. Turn. It wanted us to just block again. It didn't want the overbet, so we chose two bad sizes. And river, it did not want the all-in. It did not want the all-in. Although after checking, it was like the least worst option. Never mind. Blundered one. We blundered. Sixes. I would open this on a roll if I was rolling pre, which I don't roll pre. You don't like it, not surprised. Ace jack suited is going to be a 3-bet. We flop two pairs. I wouldn't want to bet small on this board. So I'd be looking at a size that was like half pot or bigger. I think probably half pot. We get raised. I really dislike this situation. We lose to ace, queen, and king 10. He has king 10 suited pure. He has ace, queen. Maybe not pure because maybe it's sometimes 4-bets. Doesn't have queens, doesn't have jacks, doesn't have aces. I'm just all in. And it did have the king 10, and we got an inaccuracy. On the flop, it wanted checks or blocks. I didn't like that. I didn't like it. Now it just wanted call. It certainly didn't want all in. Yeah, blunder edge. Done a couple of blunders, couple of boo-boos. 10-9-9. Not especially good for the big blind. I'm going to bet small. Six five suited. Trivial defend. I think the 9 isn't great. I think this player have a lot of 9s checking back. I think we're just going to check fold. And I don't think we're going to bluff this river. I don't think we get ace-high to fold. Yep, we've got all the double ticks. Pocket aces. Definitely betting. Go with that. Do we ever want to check this turn? I'm either going to check or I'm going to use this. We'll go with check. We get blocked on the river, which we're going to raise. And we got a lot of ticks, so happy with that. Turn, it wanted, yeah, one of the sizes we were toying over or check. So we were on the right track there with our what our options were. King Jack suit offsuit we're going to raise, and then we're going to fold to the 4-bet. 10-4-4. It's going to be a range bet. I think I'm going to consider some check raising here. Certainly against that size. Right. 2 overcards, which may or may not be any good. No showdown value. Backdoor spades. Yeah, not the worst board for a big blind defend. Go with a raise. Pick up some equity. I'm going to go with overbet here at a pretty high frequency. Or check, and I don't like check. I mean, I guess we could go a bit smaller, but I'm going to choose an overbet size. Which one do I want? This one, I think. And this might be another punt, but we're going to be all in. I'd rather not have a spade to do this with. I'd rather not have a spade. But I think I'm all in. Whoops. We did a whoopsie. Liked it all until the river. And then he just wanted to give up. Fine. Yeah. That was a punt. But it was fine until the river. Then it wasn't. Jack 8 suited on this board. I'm just going to clean give up. There's just nothing good going on whatsoever for us here. King 6 suited. Going to be an open. 3-bet fold. Versus big blind here. We're going to probably have a cheeky little range bet. Get the call. Turn doesn't improve our equity. So we're either going to be using like larger sizes here a lot or checking back. And I'm going to go with the check back here. And do we bluff the river? Do we bluff the river? We're blocking quite a lot of the draws he could have had, or some of the draws he could have had. We've got a spade, we've got a queen. I don't think this is a particularly good bluffing candidate. I might get told off here, but I would just give up. Yeah, it didn't like it. It didn't want me to give up, did it? It wanted me to bet. Good board for us. Just going to range bet. Flush card on the turn isn't great against big blind. We can have a lot of suited connectors in spades, etc. We have top pair. We have the redraw if we bet and get raised, but I don't want to get raised here, so I'm just going to check back. We have the second nuts on the river, and I think I'm just calling here because I don't think a worse hand in GTO land calls. If we raise, oh, river's a massive blunder. Yeah, it wanted raise. Never mind. I just couldn't imagine a worse hand calling. Queen of spades is out there. Jack of spades is out there. So what we're targeting? 10 of spades? 9 of spades? Yeah. I don't care. That in GTO land, that might be a blunder, but I'm not. I don't care. I'm not giving myself a blunder for that. It probably wants me to open this. I'm not going to. Ace 10 off. 7-6 suited. Easy call. 10 above flop. Check fold. Deuces. I personally just fold. Might want some 3-bets sometime. Nope, it doesn't. Queen 8 suited. We're going to range bet here on the King 7-3. 9 doesn't improve our equity. I think I want to carry on betting here. Doesn't feel Like, emotionally, I want to carry on betting, but intuitively, it feels like I'm not supposed to. And now I think we have to bluff the river. It seemed like this side last time we were going to bluff river, so we'll go with this one. Nah, it didn't like river this time. What did he want me to do on the river? He wanted me to give up. Okay. King 10 suited. It's going to be a 3-bet. Flop ourselves a top pair. This is a top pair that I personally would check quite a lot. It's like one of my weakest top pairs I'm going to have in this spot. On the 8 of spades turn, I'm certainly not going to be betting. Oh, then we get the ace river. Oh, it liked it all, apart from the river. And it wanted to bet the river on the ace for like tiny. The last hand of the video, King 6 suited, trivial fold. So we got 76% score there, which is about par for me. I'm pretty happy with that. Like in the bottom left corner, which, well, fuck it, we'll bring it across somehow. How do we do that? Oh no, it's disappeared. Don't do that. Oh no, I fucked it. Basically, in the bottom left corner, it had right over those 50 hands, we made 150 moves. Got a 78% GTO weighted score. Total EV loss 4.71 big blinds. Average EV loss per hand 0.09. Don't really know what all that means, if I'm being honest with you, but it doesn't feel like it was too bad. So yeah, we're off now. I'm probably going to keep doing these in the mornings if I'm awake. Basically, I don't want to play poker in the mornings much anymore. I want to limit my play to like from mid to late afternoon onwards. So whenever I'm awake in the mornings, I'm going to start getting, now the weather's starting to get a bit nicer, although it's not at the minute, but theoretically it should now it's March. I'm going to try and get out and do some exercise in the morning, some walks, etc. And also just do a lot of study in the mornings, this type of thing, running hands I played through GTO Wizard, etc. You're probably going to do quite a lot of these videos. They don't do particularly well. I don't really care because it's easy content for me to make. I don't care if not as many people watch it, and it's also really good practice for me. It's helping me improve at the game, so it just feels like it's the right thing to do. So I'm off. I shall catch up with you all later in the week. Have a great week, everybody. As always, fuck the Tories and all who support them. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye for now.